It's the thing that goes back and forth.
Oh. I don't know.
It's not a monologue, I don't think.
No. Monologue is just a speech with one person.
Yeah. Monologue, yeah, I have no idea.
I don't know.
Be a fun blooper to put in the video. Any of you out there, if you know what the screen that a meteorologist reads off of, let us know.
I know what it is.
Mauna Loa?
Metropolis.
The wreck of the Mauna Loa?
You know that it's time for Wait What?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wait What, a self-improvement podcast, episode 6.
Woo!
We are back after a week off.
Week off. We had lots of family, well, not a lot. Had some family gatherings. Nathan's sister, my cousin, came home from the Navy after 8 months.
Hi, Allie. You're probably sleeping right now.
So we had lots of family time.
Yeah. That and just it was a nice little reward for all the hard work putting in.
Yeah.
Today's episode is going to be about forgiveness. And yeah, so we're going to start off with 4 quotes we got here. Kind of to start us off, and then we'll the rest of the video will just be explaining why those are important. First one right here. Forgiveness is the way of love. Gary Chapman, the author of The 5 Love Languages.
It's a good book. I recommend.
I've listened to the introduction of the book, so it was good so far.
We also got forgiveness is the fragrance that violet sheds on the heel that has crushed it. Mark Twain.
That one's a thinker.
That's deep. It took
really got to think for that.
It took me about 5 minutes to really understand that one.
Yeah, we'll let you think on that one.
Yeah,
we'll let you understand what that is. And next one we got here is we must develop and maintain the capacity to forgive. He who is devoid, who is, yeah,
does not have, basically means does not have.
He who does not have the power to forgive does not have the power to love. There is some good in the worst of us and some evil in the best of us. When we discover this, we are less prone to hate our enemies. By Mr. Martin Luther King, Jr.
And we also got another one from Martin Luther King Jr. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Boom.
Let's go.
Quotations.
Now, we're going to talk about what the heck we just talked about.
Yeah.
Google tells us that forgiveness is to stop feeling angry or resentful towards someone for an offense, flaw, or mistake. That's really just saying that nothing about... What? Oh. So that... A key point I put in here is it says nothing about being friends with someone again. Or, acting like nothing ever happened. So yeah, you don't have to be with that person again. Like, forgiving someone is the way I've always thought of it ever since I watched the movie The Shack was forgiving is letting go of someone's throat and just moving on.
Yeah.
You don't have to be best friends. You don't have to act like nothing ever happened. Just let go of whatever you're holding on to and just live your life. Whatever's due for them is due for them. It's not your job to get revenge.
Yeah.
You got anything for that?
No, not really. Not yet. I was going to wait till you got through these first two.
How does this affect me? Once you let go of someone's throat, you're no longer changing your life because of the hatefulness you have towards them. So you may not even realize it, but the hatefulness you feel towards someone is going to change the way you act, you think. You're avoiding doing this, or you're purposely doing this to get back at that person. Avoid someone or something. Yeah, and you're choosing. I mean, that's really the most flatline way to put it is you're choosing to be angry at someone or something, which is then causing you to be angry towards other things, putting you in a bad mood for the rest of your day. So once you can forgive someone, you just let go of all of that, and you can just start living your life again and being who you are.
Yeah. So, I mean, like you said, it's a choice. To me, I've been reading through a lot of like self-improvement books and things of that nature, and a lot of them bring that key point of everything you do is a choice. How all your thoughts are a choice. You have to look at it that way, or else your thoughts will control you, and not it won't be you controlling your thoughts. So, like you're saying, you choose to be angry towards someone or something, and once you realize that that's a choice, you can let it go and move on, and not only free that person, you're also freeing yourself from that overarching cloud that's hanging over your head that's doing nothing but bringing negativity towards you and just tainting yourself, your thoughts, and basically taking you over and doing nothing good, nothing positive for you or anyone else.
Mm. Yeah, I did a devotional this morning. Talked about just your thoughts and everything. It talked about how your thoughts lead to your emotions. Your emotion leads to your behavior. Your behavior leads to how you act towards someone. The way you act towards someone leads to how that relationship's going to be. And so everything, it all revolves around your thoughts and your emotions. That's the base of everything. That just leads into everything. So, we've talked about it 100 times, the whole foundation of a house and stuff. If you have a crappy foundation, everything else is not going to last very long.
Right.
So, if you have a crappy attitude or you're in a crappy mood, everything else after that is not going to go very well for you. Where if you can just fix it from the start, from where you're thinking and your mindset and everything, if you could fix that right there, it helps you create better as you go along.
Yeah. It's good.
And it's going to take time for something major, especially if something major happens. It's going to take time. This isn't going to be. Now, I mean, I wish it would be. I wish it'd be something really bad happens to you, and you're just like, dang, that sucks.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
But again, like we talked about, there's always time for grieving and stuff like that.
Yeah, you're human. There's going to be time. You have to take time. As much as even if you want to fix things immediately, obviously it depends on the severity of what happened to you or what happened to something. But it does take time because you're human. It takes time to heal. But I think the key point for me, or that I've had experience with, is there's like a famous saying or quote, whatever you want to call it, that time is the ultimate healer. And I don't really necessarily agree with that, because I think it's a part of it, but a really important thing is you have to take that time and use that time wisely to get through the process and really think the right thoughts. If you're taking time and you're doing nothing but thinking about how much I hate this person or I hate what happened, I'm never going to forgive them, that's just going to make it worse.
Yeah.
Like, you have to use the time wisely. You have to process things and work through things and develop and continue to move forward through something that's happened. You can't just wait. you gotta do something with it.
Yeah, definitely. And I put in here, you must be patient. You have to trust yourself.
Yeah.
And just trust, whatever you believe in, whether that's God or just karma or anything like that. You have to trust in that overlying factor, knowing that it's not your job to get revenge for what they did.
Yeah.
Now, it'd be great if we could. It'd be great if, it'd be great if we could just instantly get that relief from getting revenge and being like, okay, they did this to me, I did it to them, it's over, I don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah, because it's immediately what your mind goes to.
Exactly.
It's the easiest thing. I know I can do this to them immediately and I'll feel better, but it's never that way.
It's like when you're a little kid and, you punch your brother or something. Well, why'd you punch him? Well, he did it to me first. It doesn't mean it's right, but it's instantly what you go to.
Yeah.
You think, well, he hit me. Well, that gives me a free card to hit him back.
Yeah.
It just kind of revolves around that. But you really got to trust yourself and whatever you believe in to know that it's your job to, take it all in, learn from it, do whatever you have to do with that situation, and then just let it go. And you have to forgive that person. And again, it's such a misunderstood phrase, forgiving someone. Because, you instantly think, forgive someone, you think, they did something horrible to you, you have to be like, oh, hey, buddy, how's it going? Like, it's not how that works. You just, forgiving them is just letting go of that situation. You're almost forgiving the situation that they did, not forgiving them themselves, I guess, if that makes any sense. Or doing that will do that. My key point I put in here is you have to look at yourself first. Because a lot of people struggle with forgiving someone because they have not forgiven themselves yet or let go of their own throat.
Yeah.
So as far as, again, like, you may be struggling with something and I don't even know. These things can stack up on top of each other. You're not forgiving yourself for a mistake you made way back here, and that leads to this happening and this happening and this happening. So you can't forgive these situations because in the very beginning you never forgave yourself. So one thing I always try to do is anytime I'm trying to forgive someone, I look at myself first and think, okay, is there anything I did? Is there anything I need to forgive myself for first? Because if you can't forgive yourself, I can promise you now you're not forgiving that other person. You may think you are, but that constant pain and aggravation is just going to eat at you inside.
I definitely agree with that. I can vouch for that 100%. Because, from example from myself, when something happened, the very first thing I did was that I looked at myself and thought, this thing happened, it was bad, it shouldn't have happened, it doesn't excuse what happened, but I know some things that I've done could have led to this happening. Like, how can I become better from this situation and be a better person overall in the end? So that's the first thing I did. It was like, I can do this, I can quit doing this, I can do better at this, and then that ultimately, once everything resolved itself, it greatly improved everything overall, for sure.
Yeah, and because again, I know I probably say this every single episode, but a lot of this self-improvement stuff all wraps into itself.
Yeah.
If you can find a way to improve your life because something happened, it's going to lead to this and this and this and this, and then success is going to start piling up on top of each other.
Yeah.
Just because you're setting yourself up for success. Like, if you can do certain things continually, you're cleaning a path straight to the finish line is all you're doing, and you're avoiding all the crap that's in between. All right, back to the forgiving yourself part of what we were talking about from Joan Baez. As we know, forgiveness of oneself is the hardest of all the forgivenesses. And I really like what they say there, because it just, forgiving yourself is the hardest part. So if you can forgive yourself, then the next part should be easier. Not saying it's going to be easy at all.
Yeah.
But, because for forgiving yourself, you have to let go of your own throat and say, okay, I screwed up, or, I feel like could have done this better, but I can't change it anymore. Nothing I can do now is going to change that besides moving on and getting better from here. So I really like that one.
Yeah.
That quote. An example I have here is someone takes you out of their life. Whether it's a breakup, you get fired from a job, someone ends a relationship or a friendship, you give the sadness and frustration to the person because it's easier for you. Oh, yeah. Okay, so someone breaks up with me, sometimes you think, man, this is my fault, I did this to myself, or, I could have done this, and this better. But then I've been on the side of it, or I know people that have been on the side of it where it's, well, it was their fault. They're the stupid one. They did this, they did that, they're so stupid, blah, blah, blah. And you're passing on that pain you have inside of you to them because it's just so much easier to do. It's easier to say, well, okay, it was their fault. They're the stupid one. Rather than saying, all right, listen, I screwed up. I got to live with that. I got to forgive myself and move on. So I think that's a big place where a lot of people can see forgiving themselves come in. Yeah. You have to look back at the situation and be like, okay, listen, is it my fault or is it their fault? And you have to be 100% honest with yourself. You can't say, well, it was their fault, they're stupid. Because then again, it's just that burden will always be there and it's always going to stick with you.
Right.
Yeah, I just pretty much, yeah. You are the reason. Yeah, what you don't realize is that you feel deep down inside you are still the reason that they left. So even though I passed that pain and that frustration onto them, deep down inside you may still realize it was me. It was my fault. I'm the reason I got fired from that job, or I'm the reason they don't want to be my friend anymore. Because it could have been ended up being something that you did, and this is just one example. There's a complete flip side to this, to where you take all the burden on yourself, but it was really them, and yeah. Anyways, you understand.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that too. Because I think it's important, like we were talking about, to look at yourself first, so you can kind of get a sense of what you're feeling. So you got to know, like you said, deep down if you think it's your fault or not. I think you have to look inside first, understand how you're feeling before you look at the other side and the person you're forgiving or what happened. I don't think you can really truly forgive or do something about it until you look at yourself and realize what you're thinking.
Yeah, this last point we got right here is, this is causing you to be unable to forgive that person that hurt you or that left you or that made you leave because you have not let go of yourself first.
Yeah.
And again, like I said earlier, you're not going to be able to forgive someone else if you can't forgive yourself first. Because that burden and that pain will always still be there. Forgiving yourself for hurting yourself is another good one. You didn't follow through with something. I think this is one you put in there, didn't you?
Yeah.
So if you want to talk about that.
I think this is one of the hardest things to do, is forgiving yourself for hurting yourself, because it happens all the time. Because, at least for me, I expect a lot out of myself. And if I don't do something that I'm expecting myself to do, that's the hardest for myself to it's very hard for me to forgive myself and to move forward from it sometimes, because you expect a lot. I want to do all these things, but I don't always do them. So it's very difficult for yourself to keep improving if you can't forgive yourself for what you've done. It kind of puts a halt or like a rainy cloud over yourself until you forgive yourself, and then you continue to do those things you want to do and struggle with before, and then you can continue moving forward once you forgive yourself. I think it's really important to do. Another thing, not exactly forgiving yourself, is having discipline to follow through with things. If you're continuously saying, I'm going to do this, you never do it, and then you set it up again, I'm going to do this and this, and you still don't do it. You're losing discipline with yourself, and you're losing trust in yourself, and then you really won't be able to forgive yourself, because you're just digging yourself a deeper hole.
Exactly. It's like thinking back to, if a different person wants to do that to you. If someone says, hey, me and you are going to go do this, this, and this, and they're like, hey, man, we can't go. And then a month later, hey, we're going to go do this, this, and this. Hey, man, we can't go.
Yeah. You
start losing trust and faith and, just compassion for that person, because they just keep letting you down all the time. You're expecting this. They get you on such a high level, and then they just tear you down. And you get way up here, and they just bring you back down.
Yeah.
So if you're doing that to yourself, like you said, it's going to be so difficult for you to be able to forgive and just move on and try to get back at it.
Yeah, I think it's worse for you to do it to yourself than if it was happening with another person. Because another person, you can just say, I just won't hang out with that person anymore. Or I won't do this with that person. Them. But if it's yourself, you're always with yourself. You can't really do anything. You really have to work through it, and it's tough. But,
exactly. Yeah. And again, like what we've said before, is that you have to be compassionate with yourself too. Like, you gotta understand that this self-improvement stuff isn't easy. Yeah. This isn't something that's just you're gonna pick it up just like that. Because I just got done telling him, like, our 12-week year thing, I've been super slacking on that for a long time. For a long time, as in a couple weeks, but it's just, and that's something I gotta look back on myself and tell myself, like, hey man, you gotta get better. But I also gotta understand that it's still something I'm new to. So I can't just completely bash myself and say, God, I'm such a loser. Why can't I do any of this? Because I'm new to it. I made it through a little while, but then I understand, okay, I reached this point, and then I really started slacking. And, so now I got to think back, were my goals not set high enough? Did I not set them clear enough or whatever? But again, I feel like that'll really help you as far as forgiving yourself is just understanding that even just life in general isn't going to be easy. Like, just because you set these goals for yourself doesn't mean you're not going to fail in between. Like, you're never going to set a goal and get to that every single time. It's just the sad truth of life. That's just not going to happen.
The way I see it, there's got to be like a healthy balance between forgiveness and discipline with yourself. the more disciplined you are, the less forgiveness you're gonna have to do. Like, you won't have to forgive yourself for being less disciplined. Like you say, you're gonna work out 5 days a week. You only do it 3 days a week. And if you do that, the more you do that, the more you're gonna have to forgive yourself. The less you do that, the more disciplined you are, the less you're gonna have to forgive yourself. Yeah. It's kind of like you don't want to forgive yourself too much, because then you're like, yeah, it's okay, I'll get it next time, but you never do.
Yeah.
You have to have a healthy balance of the discipline and forgiveness. You can't just. It's like a parent who just said, "Oh, it's okay, you'll do it."
Oh, you stole $20 from me. You won't do it again.
Oh, it's okay.
Do it again. Oh, you're learning. You
gotta have that balance. You know, you have to be disciplined, and you have to be able to forgive yourself as well.
Yeah, accountability. You have to be accountable for yourself, but you also have to understand that you're not gonna get it every time, and the ability to forgive yourself has to be there for you to keep going towards your goal. Because this kind of just popped in my head. I was watching, Eddie Hall he's world's strongest man. He holds the deadlifting record and all that stuff, and I'm sure you could ask him or just watch his videos. It wasn't just a smooth sailing ride to, hey, look, I lifted this much. Hey, look, there was this much. Hey, look, I hold the record now, I'm sure he went through 1,000 different times where he tried doing something and he failed. And, maybe in the beginning he wasn't disciplined enough to say, yeah, I ate all my diets that I was supposed to and everything, but I couldn't get to it or whatever. So you have to, I feel like, again, time comes into play. The more disciplined you are doing something, the longer you start doing it, the better you're going to get at it,
Yep.
That's a big one to remember too, is that, starting off is going to be the hardest part. Getting consistent for a long time is going to take a while. But the longer you do it, the easier it's going to start getting, hopefully, I guess. I can't promise that, but it should.
Yeah.
If you're doing it right, yeah.
Especially if you enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. For sure. But yeah, just the really big thing I want to stress with this whole thing, the whole forgiveness thing, is that it's not going to be something that's easy. It's not a one-time fix. And it's extremely challenging for your mind. You have to really dig deep to be able to say, listen, yes, these people really screwed me over. Or, yes, I don't feel like I deserve to get fired. But there's nothing I can do about it now besides move on and understand and learn from the situation. Because the longer you let that burden sit over you and just eat away at you, and, the further, instead of taking 2 steps forward, you might take 1 step forward and 6 steps back. And you keep doing that, you're just going to keep going further backwards and backwards and backwards.
Yeah.
So the better you can get yourself at forgiving. Yeah, I guess that's right. The sooner you can start forgiving someone and being able to say, okay, listen, I have to get over this. I can't hold on to this anymore. The sooner you're going to start being able to see yourself improve and get better. Because, in the end, life goes on no matter what happens to you. You have to be able to say, yes, my life really sucks right now, but it's only going to get better if I make it better.
Yeah.
Type deal, I guess.
You have to take the accountability on yourself, not anyone else.
That's the easiest way to do it, really, is say, listen, this person screwed me over. This person screwed me over. I'm not going to screw myself over by sitting here and feeling bad for myself. I'm going to, because there's times where you can feel like the whole world is just, suffocating you and nothing's on your side. Be that one person that's on your side and say, listen, nobody else has got me right now. I'll get myself. I'm going to get through this by myself because I believe in myself. If you can keep your moral disciplines and your moral love for yourself, if you can keep that there, it's going to be, you're going to be hard to stop.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like that train.
Yeah. You're not stopping that train. He's disciplined.
That's the word I'd use.
Yeah. I don't know if that was the best word choice. You got anything else? That's about all I got.
Not that I can really think of.
Yeah. So we'll link the notes down below and anything we can think of to help you guys out. We'll put it down there. But again, like we say every time, find an accountability partner, because this stuff's only going to get easier for someone else. And yeah, I don't really got a challenge this week. I think it'd just be to try to forgive someone. If you can think back to say, wow, I've been holding on to this burden for a long time. Try to find a way to forgive them, or forgive yourself, I guess.
Yeah.
That's your challenge for the week. Forgive someone or forgive yourself.
Yeah,
for
I'd
something you
say
did.
if it's been something that's been going on for a long time, it won't be quick. It'll take time. Like if you're forgiving someone or yourself, make sure you truly mean it. Don't just, half-heartedly. Yeah, it's okay. I think you really need to mean it for it to help you and to help them. So
yeah. Again, I always go back to the Shack when I talk about forgiveness, because it's just such a good movie. But in that scene where they start figuring out how to forgive and stuff, the God figure in the movie, she makes Mac, who's the main character, who's doing the forgiving, he says it the whole walk home, I forgive him. I forgive him. He has been forgiven. I forgive him. Because like you said, she wasn't just going to let him say, I forgive him, and that be it. She makes him say it over and over and over and over until he really starts to mean it. Because, it goes back to, exercising. If you cheat yourself, you're doing absolutely nothing good for anybody. So if you cheat yourself by saying, yep, I forgive him, I still hate him though, then, you went from here to here. You went nowhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd try to start forgiving someone. I know I definitely will try to.
Yeah.
See if there's anything in my life that I've been holding on to or just anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was episode 6. Thank you all for watching. Leave some comments for ideas or just support or anything. And we're open for any comments.
Anything.
And, yeah. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. We'll see you guys back here next week. Peace. I've been holding it back at cough for
Kachiga.
I've been holding back a cough for 10 minutes.
The Kachiga is much better than Kachow. I said it and I mean it. Don't forget to press the subscribe button.